First, we're going to hear from Enrico Guarnerio, Chairman and CEO of Strategica Group, who gives us his opinion of the ongoing efforts in Italy to introduce a captive regulatory framework to allow and encourage the domiciliation of captives in their home country.
I'm Enrico Guarnerio. I'm the President and CEO of Strategica Group. Strategica represents a group of companies based in Italy which are working all along the risk management value chain. So we have on one side a risk consulting activity provided by a dedicated company where professionals in terms of risk engineering and risk analysis and financial analysis are providing clients with advanced services in order to help them in defining their risk financing strategies and risk management strategies. Then we have brokerage operations with some insurance brokerage activities that are, and our companies are working on an international basis because we are a part of the Assurance global network.
And Enrico, you've got a long history with captives, and particularly captives here in Luxembourg as well. You'll be very aware that there's lots of talk, not just in Italy, but particularly in France at the moment and Spain as well, about maybe more home domiciliation of captives. And we know that traditionally, I think Italian companies have used Dublin, they've used Luxembourg, they've used a few Italian companies have captives in Switzerland as well. What's your opinion of this potential trend? I don't want to say it is a trend yet because we haven't seen it really happen even in France yet properly, but what do you think of this potential trend or interest in European companies wanting to have their captives actually at home rather than in the traditional domicile centres?
Well, of course, it's true, you're right, it's a trend. There are already some Italian groups who are trying to study the way to repatriate their captives from Dublin, for example, rather than from Luxembourg, and especially for fiscal reasons and the idea of being more transparent in managing their captive. Of course, it's a long road because we have to take into account the knowledge and of the local authorities. In Italy, for example, there is not even one reinsurance captive existing. So I think it's something that is going on. Someone is interviewing the local authorities, but I think it's still a long road to take. And it could become, of course, the key issue is having a local authority with knowledge, being fast in providing authorization. And we are seeing that even some historical domicile like Ireland, Luxembourg are a bit suffering right now because maybe they have too many requests. But of course, the key issue is being prepared from the local authority perspective and being fast in providing authorization.
So just lastly then, obviously we've been in this hard insurance market for 3 years or so now. We heard, I think, this week that the Luxembourg Commission here, they've got 10 applications on their desk in Luxembourg, which is great news for the industry, and it shows how popular Luxembourg is at the moment for prospective captive owners. How much potential do you think there is in the Italian market for new captive formations, whether it's in Italy or Luxembourg or Dublin? Is there a real appetite to explore captives more at the moment, do you think?
Well, I've been always convinced that Italy could represent more or less a market for about 50-60 captives at least. We know that Italy is the second largest industrial country in Europe. We have plenty of medium-large size companies that should use the captive. I think we have two main issues. Locally in Italy, in general, the main issue is related to the lack of culture in terms of risk management. So the captive is not seen at the moment as a pure risk management tool. It has been considered in the past mainly for fiscal reasons, at least motivation, which is not at all the real purpose for creating a captive. So now things are changing. The management of these medium-large size companies is developing his risk management culture, and this will drive companies to create these captive solutions. And as I said, for me, it should be around 50, 60 captive. On the other side, we need to have a flexible and fast regulator, because sometimes you could reach the point of having a client convinced to create a captive, but then there's a stop towards the bureaucracy, administration, costs for managing a captive. So that should become easier.